So keep an eye out for him. I think Warren Millet's in the wrong spot here. He should be alongside Paul Bochette, who won yesterday's race. Those two had a great battle throughout the race, and it looks like it's almost single file start for this as they get underway. Green light on, and away they go with Paul Bochette in that Chev Corvette. Dodge Power under the bonnet, and it's Jim Policina in the Touring Car Masters Tirana in second spot. Miller in third as they head up the mountain the first time.
Good start for Rusty French in the Skye Sands TA2 car as well. He swept around the outside of Hugh McAllister, who ended up best placed in the TA2 cars yesterday. Oh, and we've got a problem for our race leader, is it? That's Boschert. Is that a flat tyre, I think, heading up Mountain Straight? He's got the left-hand side of the car on the grass. He's going to pull off to the side of the circuit, and his race is done after less than 2 corners.
Wow. Had dramas yesterday with an engine fire in qualifying. Also had no dash or anything in that car throughout that first race. And was really looking forward to this one. Brand new tyres going on that car. Obviously a problem with one of them, and unfortunately out of the picture at the moment. So Jim Policina in the ex-Adam Garwood Holden Tirana SLR 5000. Who would have thought he could be leading a field like this the first time across the top of the mountain?
What a drama-packed start. Our race winner from yesterday out after only a couple of 100 metres, and it's the Touring Car Masters Tirana that hits the lead. As Gary mentioned, watch out for Steve Lacey in the yellow Chev Camaro sports sedan coming through from the rear of the field. He was the pole-sitting driver, qualified on pole by a whopping margin yesterday, so watch him to come blazing his way through the field as this 10-lap race progresses.
To be fair, though, the cars that did run first and second, their times did drop dramatically throughout that first race. Warren Millet now lining up Jim Policina as they head down towards the chase for the first time, down the Conrod Straight, and Millet pulls out ex-Holden Racing Team, Holden Commodore VZ, goes past the Tirana into the lead, so Millet leads, Policina in second. I think we have Rusty French in third spot in the first of the TA2 cars. And mind you, if you were here yesterday, there's Bochette, he's got his hands up. Now, whether he's indicating something that he's okay, jumps over the fence and puts it away. So there's a fairly good gap, second to third. What I was going to allude to, that was the fact that yesterday, if you happen to be watching that race, you would have seen some cars that placed out of order. What happened there? There were some cars that were pinged for passing on the restart after a safety car when Rick Newman had his crash, and they had to start further back. So keep an eye on those cars, number 10 being one of them. There is the Rick Newman car on screen. That's the one that had the crash course, the safety car yesterday. Remarkable job to get that Falcon back out and running.
And check on the progress of Stephen Lacey from 50th on the grid to 22nd in 1 lap.
And the thing is, too, that the car that he possibly might not have been able to run down is the one that's out of the race. So it's every chance that he could win this race from that far back. But as you can see, a mixed match of cars, and certainly a great field of cars. And we're seeing ex-Paul Morris Motorsport Holden Commodore VE with 2 TA2 Mustangs riding behind them as they head across the top the second time. Millet leads, Policina second. There's Rusty French, the Skye Sands Mustang in third position. Fourth position at this stage would be Ashley Bright, another ex-V8 touring car, but it doesn't run the same engine as what it did in the day. And then Hugh McAllister, Ian McAllister, that's son and father, and there's bragging rights on the line there. And of course then we go back to Steve Burridge in the Queensland-based classic touring car.
And then Gar Robinson in another one of the TA2 cars. Gar Robinson, who's over from America this weekend and was actually the champion in the American TA2 series last year. He was the first TA2 car across the line yesterday. He was one of those drivers that Gary talked about that got penalised for overlapping at the restart.
I'd say it might have broken an axle by the look of that. That car veered to the left and has smacked the wall as well. So it looks like it could have broken an axle on the stand there. And there's Paul standing forlornly beside his Chev Corvette. Dodge Power, as we mentioned before, under the bonnet of that car, and was really looking forward to this race. Warren Millet now out to a sizable lead as we come down to complete the next lap in that Wake Up, Commodore, followed by Jim Policina. Hadn't seen the car until Thursday and already running in second spot.
Here's Steve Lacey continuing to make progress up through the field, makes the move down the inside of Anthony Tenkate. That is for 11th position. So after starting stone motherless last on the grid, Stephen Lacey's going to get himself up to the top 10 here. He goes down the inside of Stephen Coe in one of the V8 touring cars, and he'll make another spot across the line here as well. So in fact, he crosses the finish line in position number 11. It does Stephen Lacey.
He's already picked up another spot as they head out to Liquid Molly at the end of Liquid Molly Front Straight and make their way up to the Audi Mountain Straight towards Audi Cutting. And he's doing an incredible job. I just see if I could see what lap times he would have pulled in on that last lap at 22.15. We know that car's capable of even probably about a 10-second gain on that. It is the Sports Sedan lap record holder here as well. So whether this engine is as good as the one that he had in it when he set that record, we don't know. Here's a mixed match of cars. They've been battling all the way through. Back down the order a bit. That's Stephen Coe, followed by, it looks like, Anthony Tengate. And the next one after that is trying to keep with him, of course, is that Commodore of
Steve Burridge that have been the Monaro. The next one just behind those, and we've got a car in the pits, one of the BMW E30 Queensland Touring Car Championship cars. A number of those in the field.
That's Nash. That's car 31. That's the Piers Harrick's car. Threw a belt yesterday, and unfortunately BMW didn't finish, and looks like it might be a throttle problem today. So very unfortunate for them not having a great run at this stage. Battles continue. This seems to be the live wire one at the moment as we see cars that are probably started a little bit out of their performance order.
Oh no, we've had a crash up the top. That's Rob Neal in the 330 BMW E30, which we see running in the New South Wales Improved Production Car Championship, and that car has come to grief at McPhillamy Park, unfortunately, and with that car in that position, you'd have to say, Gary, a high probability of triggering a safety car intervention. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, and that he was in a battle there with Andrew Butcher in the E36 BMW M3. Not sure if there was contacts, but very awkward for two cars to run side by side through that part of the circuit, and indeed the safety car has now been deployed by race control.
Yeah, we've got another one stopped. Another one, there's debris on the road as well. There's a white car stopped out of Audi Cutting. And that looks like it's, it might be the car 77, I think, the Tony Barton Nissan with a Chev engine in it. That car had an alternator failure during race one and unfortunately didn't finish. So it's had a drama here again today, if that is in fact that particular car. But we have a safety car, second one for the weekend for this category. Certainly had one yesterday. A quick run down the order. I guess at this point it's Warren Millett who leads from Jim Policina, Rusty French, Ashley Bright, Hugh McAllister, Gar Robertson, and then Steve Lacey in position 7. Now this is going to certainly help Steve Lacey. With the field compressed as it is now, good chance that he could probably swoop on them before they even get to the top of the hill. And we'll see how. So they, in theory, there shouldn't be a great deal of difference between the fastest cars and the slowest car because of the fact that they're all much the same.
Correct. So even though the body shells are different, they all run identical mechanical specifications, the TA2 cars, and we can't wait to see them racing in the National Series this year. Lights are out on the safety car, which pulls into the pits, so set for a restart here at Mount Panorama this time around. Warren Millett, your race leader in race 2 of the Skye Sedans combined sedans, and it'll be up to him to control the pace of the field at this restart. Green flag waves, and they'll have to be very careful not to overlap or overtake before the control line, because we saw some penalties applied yesterday. Millett through, Policina, then it's Rusty French, then it's Bright, then it's Hugh McAllister, followed by Robinson, Lacey, Russell Wright, Ian McAllister and Stephen Coe rounding out the top 10. 4-lap sprint race to the checkered flag.
Anthony Tengate's just picked up a position. I think he might be in a bit of trouble for that one. It looks like he's overlapped on the restart. We'll see how that pans out for him. But as they head up the mountain, Millet is pulling away from Policina. But look for that yellow car, number 118, as he streaks up past Bright. That puts him up into position 4.
He was 7th at the restart.
So by the end of the lap, he'll almost be at the lead. I thought he might have been a bit even further up the field, but Millet and Policina got away from him at the start. Now he's got to get past French.
Oh, side by side always makes me nervous seeing cars run side by side into the cutting after what happened with Greg Murphy and Marcus Ambrose back in 2005, where they demonstrated that it's very difficult to get cars too wide through there, but thankfully both of those drivers gave each other just enough room, and the position in the end went to Gar Robinson, who's now the second best of the TA2 cars. So
now he's hunting down Rusty French to get top honours there. Best of the chassis cars at this stage is Jim Policina in second. It's basically split into 4 groups. And in other words, anything that's originally a road car of some sort, what we call a chassis car, is vying for position there. And look, here comes Lacey on the back of Policina as they head down towards the end of the mountain descent. And he should quickly get past there as they head out onto the Bentley, out of the Bentley Forest Elbow and down towards the Boost Mobile Chase.
He's made up 49 positions in this race, Stephen Lacey. He's got one more position left to go to complete what would be an epic charge from 50th on the grid up to first place. What a spectacular performance it's been. And here comes Gar Robinson ranging up under brakes on the back of Rusty French in the battle for TA2 honours.
Very close there. That's a Ford Mustang and a Dodge Challenger fighting it out for TA2 honours. And already looking, Rusty's covered his ground though. Not going to let him pass that easy. And it's a testament to the American too to come here and be so quick right out of the box basically. Oh, I've got another car off. One of the Commodores, car 65. I think he's just going to park it, so we should be okay.
And yeah, good job to get that car into a position where it probably won't trigger another safety car.
That's the Glenn Melling Holden Commodore. Unfortunately for him, he's out of this one.
And also creeping into that TA2 battle is Russell Wright. So we've now got a 3-way contest for honours within the TA2 division.
Yeah, and I don't think Rusty will give up that position very easily either. But good job here from Glenn to put that car out of harm's way and let the course of this race go out. And they're actually catching Jim Policina as well. So Jim will be keen to hold on to his third outright spot. Picked up third yesterday after the penalties were applied. Actually did cross the line in 5th position, I think, from memory. Steve Hay was ahead of him. Have to see where Steve Hay is at the moment. He's in position 15, so he hasn't charged.
Oh, wow. Gar Robinson down the inside of Rusty French at McPhillamy Park. What a move. And Russell Wright's followed him through as well. So Rusty French, in the blink of an eye, goes from first back to third in the TA2 division. And Russell Wright now applying the pressures of Gar Robinson in the TA2 contest.
Well, they battled it out yesterday, didn't they, those two cars, and eventually Robinson got away from him just a little bit. Russell Wright is effectively the number 1 holder here in Australia at the moment. He won the Queensland Series. Here they go, lining up to go past Policina down the straight. 5 litre versus 6.2 litre. And you would have think that the Wright is looking to go past as well. So Robinson's got a guard against someone coming past him. We've had an incident at the top. Car 32 involved in that. That's the Paul Clark Nissan Skyline. That's stranded across the middle of the road.
Oh, that's a very awkward position. Always makes me very nervous seeing cars parked sideways or perpendicular to the racing line up there. And Stephen Lacey has now taken the lead of the motor race with 2 laps remaining. He's also punched out the fastest lap of the race, 2 minutes 15.2. And yes, thankfully that number 32 car's been able to rejoin. Be interesting to see what happened up there. Here we go. Oh no, he's got tangled up with the Woodcroft Tirana. Oh, wow. How good was the evasive action from all of the cars behind to avoid T-boning that car?
Steve Thompson went to the right-hand side. Now he's one of the cars that's coming back here at Easter, and that's all he would have needed was to damage his production Mitsubishi Evo, but they all got through unscathed, and it was Michael Woodcroft was the Tirana that had the drama. Here we come back to second position, Warren Millett, as he heads up the mountain. He's going slow too, so there's a drama for the Commodore, it seems.
Yeah, his first sector was 103.6, and he's been caught. Yeah, he's going to lose second position here because here come the TA2 cars, Gar Robinson and Russell Wright. Jim Polisina's fallen back into the clutches of Rusty French. So Warren Millett, our early race leader, slipping back through the field with dramas. So the two cars that are now first and second started at 50th and 17th on the grid respectively.
Yeah, it just goes to show what you can do in this category with these combined classes.
And not only that, the car running third of Russell Wright started 18th on the grid. So all of our top three runners came from well outside the top 10 on the grid.
Yeah, well, some of those have probably been a little bit to do with dramas, certainly for our initial pole sitter and for Millett as well. But both those cars having dramas that were first and second yesterday.
There's the mini challenge car of Ian McDougall, which we see competing in the Wakefield and Winton 300 endurance races. Ex-mini challenge car that used to compete in the mini challenge One Make series that supported the Supercars support card. Stephen Lacey comes through to start what will be the final lap of the race. 2 minutes 11.6 the lap time for Stephen Lacey.
He's just broken the Sports Sedan lap record. So not only has he threaded his way through the whole field, but once he's in front, he's not resting on his laurels. He's gone on and broken the Sports Sedan record. Still, this great battle for second continues between Robinson and Wright, and Polisina now in third. And Rusty French under all sorts of challenge from Hugh McAllister, both in their Mustang. So TA2 Mustang seems to be the way to go, apart from the Dodge Challenger that holds first place in that division. And they thread their way up to Audi cutting for what will be the final time. And I think Russell Wright will be very keen to get past Robinson, because Robinson's been fairly vocal in how much he enjoys going so well in that car for his first time here.
And Warren Millett in the pits, so as we suspected, dramas for that car, which have unfortunately forced him into an early retirement and out of the race.
This battle continues as they thread their way across the top of the mountain for the last time. Robinson and Wright well clear of Polisina, who will have to mind where he's running too. He doesn't want to surrender his position 4 to French and McAllister that are close behind. Across the top of Skyline for the last time. They head down the hill to the finish of race 2. There's a third race for these guys later on this afternoon at 2:45. Will be the final time you'll see combined sedans. But here is our race leader down through the chase for the last time. Swings left, then right, and then heads down towards Murray's Corner for the last time. Maguire's Murray's Corner, through he comes, and around he will come. Put your hands together. This has been a great effort from the back of the field all the way to the win, and a lap record to go with it as well. Steve Lacey takes race 2 of the Skye Sands combined sedans this weekend.
And not only that, but he's broken his own lap record again on the last lap. 2 minutes 10.9 for Stephen Lacey on lap number 10. What a drive, 50th on the grid to first position outright. Stunning performance, and he will be the odds-on favourite to win the third and final race this afternoon. Here come our second and third place cars, the leading TA2 cars. Gar Robinson, 17th on the grid to second, and Russell Wright, 18th on the grid to third position. Another couple of very impressive performances from our two TA2 rivals.
Waiting for whoever comes fourth, and it's Jim Polisina in the TCM Tirana across the line ahead of Rusty French, Hugh McAllister, Stephen Coe right in behind him, Ashley Wright in position 6.